One of the worst things that social media has inflicted upon us is the influencer. I think we can all agree about that. But one of the worst forms of these influencers is these productivity / hustle mongers that tell you that the pathway to your dreams lies in not sleeping. And I've got to be honest, it's an alluring concept. To be able to find systems and processes that help somebody like me keep the track of what the fuck I'm doing. And the idea that if I can do it, whatever it is, consistently from 5 p.m. to insomnia o'clock, and if I can do it from today until the heat death of the universe, I might get what I want out of my life just before my nervous breakdown and confinement in a rubber room for a nice rest. The problem with that mindset is that for some of us, there's no off switch. And circuits that are constantly energized eventually short and burn out, and it's bad enough when that switch is the compressor on your refrigerator, because that's a week's worth of food, but when the switch is your brain, that is another problem altogether. For me, a person that is simultaneously goal-oriented and riddled with ADD, there is a lot of self-loathing that occurs when I can see the thing and I want to do the thing, but I've already failed at doing the thing in my head because I couldn't keep up the pace of what the thing requires or what I thought it required. Take this podcast as an example, or the stories that I've started writing, or the myriad of websites that I've scrapped and started over because I wanted to clean the slate and try again. And I think my want to play mad scientist and nuke everything and start over, I think what that does for me is it gives me the little squirt of happy brain juice that I need. And as near as I can figure, the planning and the making of the thing gives me more joy than the maintaining of the thing. It's the only thing that makes sense to me. Now, there's another layer of suck on top of this 7-layer shit cake I've been baking, and it's the input from people who think adding some shame into the game is going to help. No, it doesn't help, bitch. You can't beat me up any more than I can beat myself up, or any better. So I need y'all to have a Coke and smile in a fucking seat. I can do that part all by myself, is the thing. So I'm much better at it than you are. I'm not an expert at much, but I know how to knock myself out pretty good, trust me. And that's why I went on a quest to find external help in the form of self-help books many, many years ago. I've talked about this on the program. I thought that this might be the one thing that unlocks my problem and explains it to me like I'm 5 so I can figure out the plan, trademark. Unfortunately, as I've said before, self-help is a long con. There's many different faces and personalities, but they say the same 6 or 7 things, and they offer you more help if you're willing to pay for it in their members-only section. And I just want to make sure, if you don't already know, there is no help in the champagne room. Just a recurring credit card charge. Finally, and this is a new thing I've been dealing with, does any consistent endeavor really matter when you look around you and see that the world's going to hell in a handcart? It's really hard to be creative, much less funny, if, under the circumstances that we found ourselves in these past few years. And I can't lie, I mean, I'm hung down, brung down, beat down, my head hurts, my feet stink, and I don't love Jesus. Thank you very hard. Now, you may be asking yourself, how did this come up? Well, 2 things. One, I didn't want to do anything political this week. And secondly, I hit upon this subject when I ran into an old friend last weekend. Last weekend was hatching weekend, where I celebrate the thing that I don't talk about. And he asked me how my Act 3 was going. And honestly, it's not going. But the more and more I think about it, the reason it's not going is because I haven't been trying. Between me and Act 3 is some self-invented final boss that looms in front of me, and since I don't play video games that didn't involve quarters, just think Donkey Kong with really big barrels. It is a koan that presents me with a real problem, but that's what koans are for. Hell with logical thought. This way to enlightenment, dumbass. And in the spirit of forgetting about all logical thought, finding your way towards enlightenment, like the dumbass that I am, the answer is that my brain's playing a neat trick on the rest of me, thinking that I'm burned out and on task at the same time. No, I don't know how that works. and I don't know how to stop it. Now, I lie. I have an idea, but I don't know how workable it is. But then again, like I said, logical thought, right? I've decided that the first thing that I need to do is stop caring about it so much. Yes, I know, it makes no sense, but somehow what I've hit upon is the idea of trying to figure out how to get one over on myself. Maybe this gets easier if I don't beat myself up over it and set no expectations and just let things happen organically. I don't know, it just seems crazy enough to work when you stop to consider the wetware that I'm dealing with here. I mean, there's nothing correct about any of this, so, let's just see what happens. Or not. We'll see. And that's going to do it for this week. This episode of Roley. You can follow me again on most of the socials at Chris Roley, KRISROLEY. One name, all the same, if you please. Catch the audio version here of the train wreck. Just go to Roley, search for Roley on the podcatcher of your choice, whatever it is. Spotify Music or Applify or whatever. Question everything but the contents of a tuna melt. Some shit you got to take on faith. I will catch y'all later. Stay solid. Bye-bye.